Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be replacing the battery in this R1150 GS Adventure. This procedure is going to apply to all the R1150 and R1100 GS variants, both the Adventure models and non-Adventure models. So follow along closely. This is a super simple process and we'll get this done relatively quick. Let's get to it. Step one is just simple as removing the seat. So take your seat off, and then we're gonna go ahead and grab our tank off. Pop our side cover off here. This is typically just held on with these little rubber grommets. Be careful because those grommets do like to snap off, and of a bike with this age, 90% of the time, they're already snapped off. So this one, they're actually all intact. Then removing our tank vent hoses. And when we do this, just a quick little tip that I like to do is both of these, you can then route, use this section of hose here and route it to the ground. These are for your charcoal canister, which is right back here. And this charcoal canister will fill up with gas. And if it fills up with gas, it'll then cause the gas tank to vent improperly, and when your tank vents improperly, it'll then kind of cause a lot of runnability issues, and it's super hard on your fuel pump. So while you do this, if you haven't already, just take these two hoses and just route them straight to the ground. And then your charcoal canister right here can honestly be completely removed. So for unplugging our gas tank, there's going to be one connection right here that we unplug. This is for your fuel pump, and then we also have two fuel lines right here. Your fuel lines, this bike is actually equipped with quick disconnects, and these are going to make your life about 3,000 times easier. So if your bike does not have these quick disconnects, you're going to spill gas everywhere. I will have these quick disconnects linked below in the description. And then we can remove the 6mm bolt with a nut on the back side. So when you're removing your gas tank, it's going to be pretty heavy if it's full of gas. So if your gas tank is like kind of unreasonably full where it's going to be a ton of work lifting off, you're going to be way better off just siphoning some gas out. It's pretty easy to do. We can then remove our air intake. So doing so, you're going to remove this snorkel piece here. To do that, it's a 5mm Allen socket right there. And then you'll have to undo these two Phillips screws on the back of your air box, as well as unplug your diagnostic plug and your air intake temperature sensor. When you do this, if you haven't already, now is a really good time to put a new air filter in here. A lot of times there's a mice nest or something in these air boxes. Does seem to be a popular place for mice. But as you can see, nothing crazy, but our air filter is pretty dirty. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Put those in there and this thing kind of just falls right out. We can undo our battery strap, set that aside, and then undo our terminals. When we're undoing our terminals, we're going to do the negative side first, because if you undo the positive side, there's just going to be a risk of your wrench or something hitting the metal frame and arcing out. So we're going to go ahead and remove our negative first and then our positive. And we're just going to use a 10mm wrench for that. And then when our positive and negative cable are undone, this just kind of slides out of there like that. Installing our new battery just slides right into the battery box. And then we'll go ahead and connect our terminals. And just like we did before, we're going to put the positive battery terminal on first. And then we'll go ahead and put our negative terminal on and then tighten those up. And then throw our battery strap on back over the top of the battery to keep it secured. Then while we're here, we're going to throw a new air filter on it. We can then reinstall our gas tank. Pretty easy. You just want to make sure those two little rubber bumpers kind of align with the gas tank. Make sure your fuel hoses aren't pinched and everything's routed how it's supposed to. Then your fuel pump, get all that together, and then your tank just drops right down. Doing our fuel hoses relatively easy. With quick disconnects at least. Like I said earlier, I'll have these linked down below, and they just snap into place, just like that, just like that. Got all three of our quick connects I would say, and then we're going to go ahead and plug in our fuel pump, put that in its appropriate little clip there. And then without the tank bolted down, I'm just gonna turn the bike on just to pressurize the fuel system. And even if you don't have quick disconnects, you should still do this just to make sure that all the connections are tight, you know, so no fuel's leaking out of any of these connections. If those O-rings tear on those quick disconnects, it'll drip fuel. So turn the gas tank on. Looks pretty good to go. I'm going to cycle the key a couple times. Wiggle these. Ooh, look at that right there. Actually, we're leaking gas. So you can see, so this bike was more than likely leaking gas before it came in. But right here on this little clamp right there, that clamp's just not tight enough. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that clamp is leaking gas. So we're going to tighten that clamp up, and while we're at it, we might as well just tighten up all the clamps. Tightened that clamp up and cycled the key a whole bunch. No longer leaking fuel, so that's a good sign. We can then tighten up our gas tank bolt with that 6mm Allen. We can now reinstall our little plastic cover there, just with those three little plastic bumpers, and then go ahead and reinstall our seat. Now, if this video helped you out in any way, please consider subscribing to my channel. That really helps me out, and drop a comment below what you thought. Thank you very much for watching, and have a safe ride.